We'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. exactly. The Swissvale-Braddock Borough Regional Police Board meeting. Would everyone who's able please rise and face the flag, which are meeting out front of the board.
Yeah,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty.
If everyone could please remain standing for just a moment of silence for the memory of all of our fallen. Thank you. All right, so we'll start with roll call. Mayor Denise Forsballer.
Here.
Mayor Jack Brown. Here. Chris Ansel. Here. Mr. Miser. Ms. Shaver.
Here.
Ms. Strickland.
Yeah.
Both solicitors were unable to be here today. We'll go right into business. We need to approve minutes.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Everyone, please review the minutes briefly. And we're going to entertain a motion to accept the minutes. Rob second. Second, first and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, so under F, was it Dr. Mises on that, or was Angela on the sign next?
Like in the road, Josh was nice to be a signer because he got what he's leading.
So I think that, I don't know, I think there's an error in this, that,
Okay.
right, Angela, you're one of the signers? Yeah. So Angela and Josh. The other question I had was, item D, did we say that we wanted that the solicitors through January 2026 or up until January 2026?
Until the.
Yeah, so again, I think that shouldn't say through, but, or maybe through December 2025 is what we discussed.
Any other
Corrections we made.
party?
I said, I will do this tomorrow and send out the corrected.
Otherwise, that's good. Any other discussion? Okay. With those two amendments, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
On number 4, motion to enter into negotiations with the Swissvale Police Officers Association and the Braddock Field Officer Team through Local 205 to enter into a collective bargaining agreement for the Swissvale-Braddock Field Regional Police Department in recognition of officers' rights, and we changed it to collectively bargain.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Sorry, I'm looking to negotiate that. Is that just part of the negotiation? That would be part of the negotiation, not something that would be discussed. I would encourage us not to discuss the details of the actual agreement until it's been ratified by the party. What I do want to make very, very clear, it is our intent to recognize the collective bargaining rights of the officers to collectively bargain, to negotiate with us back and forth in a good faith process. We have begun that conversation and we actually have our first date. It is our intent to recognize the officers as a unit. I think that's very important for us to understand. There is no question whatsoever that this will be a union workforce, and it will be respected as such. And we would like to reach collective bargaining. We have engaged, just as an FYI, this isn't secret sauce, we have engaged a state mediator, which is under Act 111, which is the governing collective bargaining law. We're entitled to do so, and so is the union. The mediation is a third party that offers us neutral guidance on both sides of the table. In my day job, I use them on a daily basis. We have been assigned a mediator. And such, we're going to begin the process. So, any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Motion to adopt resolution 1/2025. Apply for local share account for vehicle and equipment.
Second.
Mr. Mafra, I'll text the next, if he won't be here till 6:30, should he still come?
Always gonna be happy. Maybe. Okay. He wants to sit through another executive session. Any discussion?
You want, speaking with Mr. Ratchie and, Cheryl here, we talk about applying for, 300,000, up to 300,000, based on quotes that come back for vehicles. So it should be between 280 and 300,000, looking at it, we should have that together by the end.
Any other discussion, questions for Chief? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Motion. This next piece, we,
Discuss the first proposal for solicitor to represent Swissvale-Braddock Regional Police Department starting January 2026.
Second.
this is, it's extremely important for us to, I think we have a stopgap measure here where we have brought on, as corrected by Ansel. We're bringing on in an interim, Mr. Victoria and Mr. Garvin as interim solicitors. They each represent Swissvale and Braddock respectively. It's going to be important for us to have our own separate solicitor to deal with issues as we go forward. I'm looking forward to hearing the proposals, I'm looking forward to us getting that out there as quick as possible so we can start doing that.
Do you like this for their, RFP? It's an outline.
Yes. Yes.
I will email that out. So.
Okay. Thank you. If anybody has any points, please feel free to reach out to Chief directly. Make sure that we're adhering to the sunshine rules and laws, that we don't talk too much on email back and forth. Yes, that is good. We should be having that conversation. There's less than 4 of us. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Second, discuss design for vehicle, passengers, and other related items.
I invited all of you to listen examples, looking at doing for branding for this new agency. I very much appreciate your positive feedback. That was a great one. Before anything's decided, I'll really email that out there. Before having part of the next meeting. Final.
And how quickly do we think we can get at least the batches and patches produced?
The patches we can have, start, the badges are gonna take. But that's, I don't think that's something we can work. As far as the vehicle strength, that can be done. We should have vehicle strike this way. Okay. Yeah, so the patches and the vehicles, we can have at least some of them. By day one, when I use and I can press the button right after we start and. Have the, that's why.
I think they look really sharp.
Is it a local artist? Who's your art?
Chief Walensky actually, you know.
Well, the vehicles.
But I like it, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And badges and patches, you know, we work with AI detective for auto. Submitted some ideas into FGPD and it did it for us, so now we're working with a distributor, distributor on the time. Some files on this.
What's the difference between
Yeah, so we were thinking about going to similar corners. Yeah, and so we still have ways, I still gonna have like. We got one to it, but I guess the LC, yes. That's really useful.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it's what it's gonna be.
It is.
very
Similar. Yeah, so.
And I like Carrie Ferguson as a homage to our roots. It's nice to remember that we're rooted in our history and we're building something to homage.
Right.
And so I really like that. I support, do we need a vote? I think it would be.
Just the.
Yes.
All right, any further discussion, any?
Do we need to have a motion? Is there going to be discuss designs, there's no saying. Do we need to anyway? Sure.
Yes.
I'll move.
Yeah. Discuss the value of the vehicle, practice and unrelated item.
I was gonna say, I motion to accept the designs for the vehicles, badges and badges.
Second.
All in favor, you say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Is there any new business that?
There is one point that I lost. We were able to obtain our EIN. Just to get off of back to the spot. I'm working with the state police to get the override done. So we'll have a thing back next week with that. They have to get done, so that's really cool.
And I should inform the board and audience that the results of the November election here in Rye Hills were such that I will be replaced by a younger guy who's familiar to all of you because he's a police officer, Kurt Hinkle. He's been a lifelong resident of the borough and his views are somewhat different from mine, but I think he's proved that he's durable and considerate and has a good work ethic, so we'll be in good hands. I imagine that I'll be staying on until the beginning of January when the transition actually.
Yes.
We invite them to our next meeting, to bring them up to speed.
Great.
I actually invited him to tonight's, but he was working.
Well, I personally want to applaud you for all the work you've done, because get where we are in and all of the work that you've done and it was big to creating this reasonable code.
And your support of it.
Oh, well. I approached this a little differently from everybody else in the room, and then I lived in New York City for 27 years. I saw the metro government and the metro police in action. But I mean, I liked having, I knew the names of the cops that I was supervising, kind of thing, I could swear them in and all that. But I think it, usually, you know, it's just becoming a thing that unless they go to a countywide police department, countywide school system and a countywide, everything else. I mean, that was talked about in 1977 when I was still a child. And places that did it, like Houston, Texas, it's now the fourth largest city in the country. They took over Harris County and Fort Bend County. Indianapolis, Indiana, Charlotte, Mecklenburg, in North Carolina. And they've all done quite well in with businesses and others. And I think that one of the negatives for us in attracting businesses like Amazon and others is that they want to deal with one entity and not 129 plus the city of Pittsburgh. So the future will work itself out, I'm sure that that's just a little historical context. But I mean, I've had a good time over the past 12 years. I was lucky to have Cheryl and Dean do all the work, and so we were in good hands. And truthfully, we're fortunate that we don't have the crises that other towns have. In the 12 years, I think we've had 2 homicides. And one was a stabbing by a neighbor who was out of control in Illinois, and the other one was a bar fight kind of thing, and the persons involved weren't even from our town. They just happened to be in our town. It happens. But I'll just quickly say that I met Ellis at the Propel School shortly after I had been sworn in, when 2 kids brought guns to school. And Dean was in the midst of it, and there were police coming from every municipality, us county police, sheriffs, and Port Authority police, whatever. The big problem was, though, that the building was such that it didn't have the ability for communications. You couldn't use a cell phone in it, you couldn't use a 2-way. So we had the potential of a lot of friendly fire accidents that day. And we were lucky that we didn't, but that was my introduction to all of the people on the force at one time. True baptism by fire. I'll hope that you all don't have those problems.
Thank you. Like I mentioned slightly before, there will be a brief executive session after this meeting to deal with some personnel issues. Other than that, there's no other new business. I'm going to entertain my future material.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?